How's it good, everyone? How's it all going? Bit of a different video today. I want to break down how you can smash all of your goals for 2024 and how you can start analyzing patterns as to why you didn't perhaps smash all of your goals in 2023, even though you set yourself out to have a fantastic year and maybe you didn't achieve everything you wanted to achieve, and how you're actually going to change that within 2024, how you're going to build a foundation for your success, or how you're going to have a huge year, how you're actually going to smash all of your goals. I assume if you're watching this video, you're probably some sort of agency owner or online coach, or just wanted to get making money online in general. I can now kind of consult from a mindset angle of how do you actually start achieving elements of success that you before didn't even think were possible, right? And I guess that kind of leads into the first point, is your self-limiting beliefs, your belief system and your self-image about yourself. If there's anything I've learned about mindset, it's that the way you think about yourself truly is everything. Because if we go a couple steps back, what is the overall goal of this whole thing? Well, the overall goal of this whole thing is to get the output, right? It's to live in the nice apartment, is to drive the nice car, is to have the Rolex, is to be free. Ultimately, that's probably the most leveraged one, financial freedom, being able to travel wherever you want in the world. And that's a very, very nice luxury. So you have to understand that how life works, right? So if that's a cause, well, then we need effect, right? So effect, the inputs you put into the world to get the output of that. It's a very, very simple process when you actually break it down, you analyze it, but many people struggle on the input side of things. And I personally believe a lot of it is there's a ton of different micro variables and stuff that I don't even understand yet. The human beings are so advanced to a point where you just can't even really, really break down absolutely everything. But I do believe to a point that self-limited beliefs is a huge, huge thing, right? Since we were born, since we came into this world, we were impacted, and we were kind of brainwashed, and we were programmed externally and internally, right? So what I mean by that is externally is the world around you. So perhaps your parents, perhaps your family, perhaps your friends, perhaps your aunties, perhaps anybody that you know somewhat affected you externally when it came to your mindset, right? And then that kind of built your perception of the world, right? And the only reason why you thought of that is because so internally, you internalize that as the absolute truth, right? When you were born onto this planet, you didn't know what a bird was. I'm just using a little example so you can kind of understand. You didn't know what a bird was, but somebody told you that, hey, this is a bird. It flies and it does all this kind of stuff. You were told that externally. That was an external kind of program and shift onto you. But internally, you went, oh, that's true, right? You went like, I affirm this deep down. So a lot of people are affirming the wrong thing, right? They're affirming that they should, perhaps go to university, or they should do the wrong things, or they should, scroll on TikTok all day. They're just a bunch of bad, negative habits that are going to make you really, really unsuccessful. Okay, I'm telling you, all these things are a lot more dangerous than you actually believe, because you're wasting your biggest asset of time, right? So what you need to start doing is you actually need to start filtering your external kind of, the things that you're getting told externally, right? And actually believe what you want to start believing. Okay. This is going to improve your self-confidence, so you can actually start looking at yourself, start holding different body posture, and start actually wanting to achieve. When you reverse your self-identity, when you start seeing yourself as someone who believes the right thing, right, you're capable of doing the right thing. Okay, that's when you start really making progress, when you can understand the kind of dilemma and the placebo effect, right, of your self-identity. For example, if I was to say to you right now, put down this video and go into a 3-hour hard, intensive, focused, deep work session. Now, when I've said that, are you the type of person that's gone, yeah, I could easily do that. I could go into a 3-hour deep work session. I could put my headphones on. I could set a timer for 3 hours and I could go and do the work. Or are you someone that's like, oh, that'd be really challenging, right? And, you're behind the screen right now, so there's no one around you, and you can't lie to anyone. You can't lie to yourself. You can be introspective enough to be like, yeah, like, was I like, when, if this challenge was proposed to me, could I do it, or would that be really hard, right? And if you perceive that as really hard, it's not because you're actually incapable of sitting in front of a computer for 3 hours. Like, I could sit in front of the computer for 3 hours. I'm a human being, right? I can sit in this chair. I can look at the computer for 3 hours. I could do the work. But the self-belief is that, oh, well, I'll get distracted. Oh, well, I want to go on my phone. I want to do all of these things, right? Well, if you actually analyze what this is, it isn't just like a random impulse. It's your belief. It's your self-identity, right? You've identified as a person who cannot focus. Therefore, you'll never be able to focus. You'll never be able to reverse engineer that self-limiting belief pattern, which actually is the engine that's running you, and you're getting damaged every single day, right? Because if you truly believe that you can't sit there and focus for a prolonged amount of time, you won't do it. If you don't do it, okay, cause and effect, you're not doing the effect, you're not going to get the cause. Very, very simple. It's very, very simple, right? So that's one thing. You need to understand that your self-identity, the way you think about yourself, or the way you perceive yourself, is hugely important if you want to become successful. That's like from the bottom of my heart. The second thing is consistency. Like, just consistency is everything. Like, I have, if I think about my journey, I'm not saying that I'm the most successful agency in this space. I've just turned pretty much 19. I've got a lot to learn in this space. I haven't made incredible big figures like 100K a month yet and all that type of stuff, but I can confidently say that I've just stayed really, really consistent. And that's why in the last 2 months, I've seen a lot of people drop off, or a lot of people quit, just like get rid of their profile and quit, which I was actually at the same level as them, right? But I think it all just comes down to consistency, right? Just doing it every single day. There's nothing else to do. I really think that when you get past the age of like 18, like before that, it's kind of like jokes. You can kind of do what you want. It's kind of chill. Past 18, it's just like, you have to get serious, right? And if you're not getting serious, you're just going to get bullied in this industry. Because seriously, there's a lot of people who will do the work. There's a lot of people that will sit down hours after hours. There's a lot of people that will sacrifice going out and doing social things, and even seeing their family, and even saying no to risky opportunities, even saying yes to risky opportunities. Like, for example, I dropped out of college, if you know a little bit about my backstory, when I was making zero. I wasn't making anything. You can, ask anyone that knows me personally. I wasn't making anything when I dropped out of college, but I decided to drop out of college. And now, fast forward a year or so, and yeah, must have worked out pretty well, right? But the only reason it worked out is because I understand these couple things, right? I understand first self identity, right? Let's start thinking about myself as not someone who achieves average things, who's someone who actually can focus for 3 hours, can build a fantastic business, can make 30, 50K a month, right? These things that are just very, very normal to me, okay? 2, consistency, just staying incredibly consistent every single day. I really, really think it's so important. Like, as a beginner, you need to understand that if you are a beginner in online business, you never ran a business before, you don't understand how money works, you don't understand how accountants work, right? All this type of stuff. How do you expect to put a headline in your bio, do a bit of Instagram DMs, and expect to run a multiple 6-figure company? Like, it takes so much more than doing the bare minimum, right? So many people want to do the bare minimum and think that that's going to be enough to get them a high level of success, when in reality it's never going to work, right? If you're literally just putting a headline in your bio and messaging some business owners, do you think that's worth of you making over 100 grand a year? Like, that's not even a lot of money, and that's not worth it, right? Like, that's not even a lot of money, and even that won't get you there. So if you want to make big numbers, it's going to take way more than that. It's going to take way more than that. So understanding, 1, self-identity, understanding 2, consistency, and I guess that kind of ties in with persistence and staying patient, because that's really, really important as well. But 3 is understanding feedback loops, right? Now, just because you've done something for a year, it doesn't mean you own the right to be successful in it. See, a lot of people think that, oh, I've done it for a year, I've stayed really consistent, I've done all this, I didn't quit. A lot of, Jordan Peterson or Jocko, or, Chris Williams, and all these like self-improvement gurus, right? Just because you haven't quit doesn't mean you own the right to be successful because you've done it for a year. You still have to look at your leveraged activities. You still have to look at what you did. You still have to look at, the connections you made, the impact you made, the clients you impacted, right? You still have to look at all these things, and that's going to really, really amount to your success. Being consistent and doing it for a year is like a bare minimum. Like, it's not something that you shouldn't just perceive it as an achievement. And I guess this kind of ties back into self-identity as a whole, right? Someone who has the self-identity as someone who can sit down and focus for 3 hours doesn't view it as an achievement. Whereas you right now would be like, oh, that's a huge achievement. Wow. Which you should at the start, because gradual wins and you start reversing it. But overall, you should start thinking bigger than that, right? So understand that, yes, consistency is a part of it, but you have to look at what you do. You have to analyze the market. And you have to have you can have low IQ and become quite wealthy, but having a high IQ helps, right? Being able to interpret information, being able to understand your own feedback loops, and being able to understand how things happen is super, super important as well. So I guess that kind of wraps up this video. Just a quick one, 10-minute video on how you can achieve all of your goals in 2024. And yeah, that's the best. I know I'm rambling, I'll go pretty quick, but I guess that's the best piece of advice I could give anyone, like a 3-step process, just like rewire, right? Rewire start again. Let's do things better this time. Understanding your self identity, staying consistent, understanding the feedback loops, and yeah, that should really really help you achieve your goal. So, like always, if you enjoyed the video, comment on the video your goal for 2024. Like, let me know what your goals are. Let me know what you're trying to achieve in 2024. And other than that, add me over on Instagram, lukejackson.mx, and I'll see you in the next one.